but Garcia's momentum. Mickey Ward always landed that shot, but it was a funny shot. This was in the blend, and there was momentum, and it
timed
that
it.
was a harder shot. That was a harder shot than your typical Mickey Ward shot.
So either way, Hopkins and De La Hoya didn't go back. Garcia took it personally. They were, for some odd reason, that never got personally ironed out. And from there, it's grown to the point where now Garcia, Hopkins came out and said, we're going to let him fly. Like, he used the word let. Like, we're going to pick his fight. We're going to decide. He said it was like decide, pick, let. Like, he used command words as if Hopkins, had, an overall deciding factor over Garcia's career. In the meantime, right now, Garcia is Golden Boy's biggest financial ticket. He is their creme de la creme money fighter, especially after 1 million+ pay-per-views with Tank. Even though he lost, he's the money fighter there. So he felt completely disrespected. And in all fairness, I don't know Bernard Hopkins, but I listened to his podcast with Rogan. He's not a very likable guy. He kind of comes across like a prick. Like, he really is the unlikable prick of a human being.
He's a prick. Period.
Yeah, he's a prick. He's very authoritative, very in your face, very, very much no back down. I mean, obviously an incredible fighter, legendary, but what made him a great fighter also probably makes him a very poor communicator, because he sort of communicates like he fights.
He looks down to you. He has disdain for you.
It's very condescending. It's very power oriented. Like, I'm the alpha, you're the bitch. Everything about his communication style is the way he fought. And I don't think it translates to business very well. And then there's Oscar, who is a little bit more polished. Obviously was very polished for a fighter, but for a fighter doesn't mean you're polished. And Oscar makes a lot of rookie mistakes that you would never see a CEO of a tech company or other making. He was showing his emotions while Ryan was talking and rolling his eyes. And like,
that's Bush League.
There was a moment where I thought he was going to cry behind Ryan Garcia. Like, there's a meme of all of his faces, and the faces are just complete uncomfortable. And I understand that you're looking
at
this.
My 13-year-old knows not to do that.
You hold it together like a pro. The fact that it got to the press conference without him having personally brought Hopkins and himself into a room with Garcia to discuss this and say, hey, we didn't mean it that way. We're looking towards your future, your roadmap, to work with your team to choose the best fights. From our perspective, we're looking to choose. Obviously, you guys have a hand in it. So that came off wrong. But, to let it, that's amateur mistake all the way, is that Oscar and Bernard let Brian hit that speaker stage without having addressed this, without having had a conversation about it and aired the grievances and shown up and said, you need your head straight for this fight. So after this, what does Amateur Hour at DAZN, like DAZN, like I call it, what DAZN do? Oscar starts talking about his mental health. I'm concerned about his mental health. And he's mentioned it in the past. Totally, passive aggressive horseshit, amateur behavior, because his feelings are hurt. This guy fighting in fucking 36 hours, and you're tweeting about his mental health. You're his promotional company.
That's so bad.
At this point, Garcia's going to sign with Top Rank. Top Rank's going to replace Shakur with Garcia as their top guy, because then they know that they're going to have something exciting that can knock something else out and entertain. They're going to drop Shakur or put him on like a lower amount, and he's going to take less money to go with Top Rank than he would have for DAZN, just because the DAZN people fumble. They're the Leon Letts of boxing. They're just fucking fumbling right before the goal line while they're celebrating. They just can't get out of their own way. Their egos and probably cocaine costed, not for Bernard, but for Oscar.
Not for Bernard.
Allegedly. Oh yeah, Bernard, no.
But he don't even drink black coffee.
Their egos can't get out of the way to business, and that's a problem. I mean, they might have their own story that they came in and explained to you and I, and it would make perfect sense, but they have not handled this at all well, and it looks really bad on Oscar and on Bernard that he's going out in public and they haven't addressed it. No, there's some people that'll say Ryan is unprofessional and he's immature for what he did. It's still, as bad as it may look for Ryan, it still looks way worse for Oscar and Bernard.
You're the adults.
They're the adults in the room, and he's
You're the
fighter
pros.
getting ready to fight. You're supposed to elevate above that and take the professional route all the time and not be impacted by one of your fighters having some emotions before a fight.
Right.
And then you're supposed to support them. So there's some weird stuff going on there. And I think that, Oscar and Bernard cost themselves a lot of money just by being rookies in terms of how they handle conflict. Yeah, I guess when you're a boxer, when you're two boxers, conflict resolution is usually let's fight, right? Whereas in the real world, there's actual skills to conflict resolution to fix this shit before it goes to a microphone. And you can tell Oscar and Bernard have no clue how to handle something without beating the shit out of it.
Yeah, exactly. And they also think that their star status in the ring makes two shits to their star status as promoters, because they really aren't stars as promoters. They're fucking half-ass.
Correct. I mean, they think, well, also they probably they've been stars for so long. They're used to sort of giving them that benefit of the doubt.
They're used to being right because everybody tells them they are.
Correct. Yeah. And they're not right here. They really fucked this up. And, I don't know what's going to happen tonight. I think Ryan apparently had his best camp. But whenever you have this much horse shit before a fight, it's not good. I mean, it's not helpful. It doesn't mean it's going to impact you when you hit the ring, but it certainly isn't going to be like, hey, this has made me a better fighter. You're hearing people that you're supposed to love, people that are supposed to have your back are shitting on you right before your, this is his biggest moment because he just came off the loss. He needs a big win here. If he gets a big win here,
gotta show out, man.
His career is back on track, and he's the big money. He's the big money pony. Everybody's going to want to get him in the ring because the cash will come. Right. But he's got to win tonight. And the